This is Katie Colleen with Cosplay, and today I am doing a shoe cover tutorial for Felicia from Fire Emblem. These covers are going to be made out of EVA foam, so I got an EVA foam mat, and I am going to start patterning out the cover for these high-heeled shoes. I'm going to start by just laying down the shoe on a piece of paper, and then you can trace out that top portion. It's going to be a little different for each shoe. So I just traced the outside of the shoe, and then I freehanded the little spiky things at the end of her shoes. Those. Now I'm going to transfer this pattern to EVA foam using a silver Sharpie. So I'm going to trace one and then flip my pattern over so I can get the mirror version as well. And you want to make sure that your little spiky thingies are the same on both sides and that they line up. So besides the spiky wingy part of the shoe, there's also this front little portion. So I'm also going to create the pattern for that. I just freehand drew this, but you do want to make sure it fits under that curve from the wingy portion of the shoe so they fit together. Next, you're going to carefully cut out the shoe cover with a razor. So now I have the wingy part and the front shield part. All of those are cut out. So I'm going to use my heat gun and I'm going to heat the foam with the heat gun. And you can just heat it while it is flat. And then when it's all warmed up, you can fold everything. And as it cools, it will hold that shape. For the wingy part, I just folded it in half, and I'm gonna hold it there while it cools. You can also weigh it down. I think I stuck a shoe on it or something to help hold it down while it was cooling. You're gonna do the same thing with a little shield portion that goes in front. This I just used the heat gun and then I wrapped it in my hands, give it a more curved shape so it could fit right into that other piece that we already made. Next, I'm going to sand down all those rough edges. So I took a Dremel tool with the sanding bit on it, and I just went around all those edges. You can see I did not cut it very well, and I'm going to really smooth that down. And you're also going to do this for your wingy pieces, and you get little foam pieces everywhere. That's just how it is now, isn't it? Okay, for this next part, I drew in the designs on the front. I wanted to have a good reference for when I glued the pieces together so that the designs would still show up after priming. I did a little bit of a cut with a razor. Next, I'm going to glue this together with contact cement. So the shield is going to go behind the wingy part. And make sure you add quite a bit of contact cement because the wingy part, when you fold it in half, it really just wants to come back to its previous shape. So I added a lot of glue so that the shield piece could kind of also help it hold its shape so it wouldn't want to go flat. Next, I'm going to use Plasti Dip to prime it. Prime everywhere so that it'll be ready to paint. So now this is primed. So I'm going to go over everything with a black acrylic paint. You could also spray paint this part if you wanted to. Next, I'm taking a gray. So I just mixed the white and the black to get the gray color I wanted. And I'm going to take that gray and I'm going to go over the designs. You can see the designs that were marked in the razor very lightly. They're still visible. And I'm using the light gray paint to fill that in. I did do 2 layers of everything, 2 layers of the black and 2 layers of the gray. Just anywhere where there's a little bit of gray that got a little bit outside the lines, I just filled that in with the Sharpie. Now for attaching it to the shoe. So I used black elastic. Here I think I had about 6 inches of elastic, and this is the band that's gonna go under the shoe. I used a hot glue gun to attach it. And this actually worked surprisingly well. How do I know? Because right here you'll see me gluing it to the wrong side of the shoe and it wouldn't come off. And then I'm also going to have another piece of elastic going around the back. And this is going to help hold that shape. And it is also going to make it so it does not slide forward. Depending on how dramatic your heel is on your boot, you may want that. And then afterwards, I went over with another layer of hot glue. This is when I realized I put the elastic on the wrong side. Wow! I am so good at cosplay. Okay. And you'll see now the elastic is in the right spot. It's going underneath on the shoe cover instead of over it. Now I'm going to glue the elastic to the other side of the shoe. This was a little bit more difficult, but you can still follow the same process. Use lots of hot glue. And I did have to kind of hold this shut while it was drying. And as soon as that dries, you will have your shoe cover ready to put on your shoe. So I am sticking my shoe cover on my shoe, or at least attempting to do so. I did have to bend the shoe quite a bit to get it on. You will have to make your own decision depending on what base shoe you use, if you're able to bend it in this way to get it on. Otherwise, you might want to consider using maybe Velcro on the back or maybe a buckle instead of using the elastic strap on the back, which is kind of what I was struggling with here getting it on. So this is the finished product for the Felicia boot covers out of EVA foam for my Fire Emblem cosplay. One thing I would like to mention is, unfortunately, I can't actually wear these shoes since they have the wings on the back if you do not have straight walking, whereas I walk with a limp due to my disability. The backs will catch on each other. That's something you should consider if you maybe don't have a very good walking gait. You might want to bring those wings in just a little bit so they don't catch on each other. So thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to leave in the comment section down below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can, and I will see you in the next video.